Hello and welcome to something new. Love it or hate it, Final Fantasy VIII, well, I hate it, and here's why. The Final Fantasy VII rush was still running strong, and Squaresoft seemed to be getting a whole new respect from most gamers. The RPG was revolutionized on 32-bit, the sun was being praised, and our spirits were high for Final Fantasy VIII. Some of its main selling points included a new battle system, a new minigame, and an epic love story with amazing new graphics. What we received, however, was hyped shit. Basically the destiny of my generation of gamers. I started playing and really getting into the game, a whole new world, triple triad, all that, I was hooked. But as soon as I started playing is about as soon as I started feeling more and more turned off towards this game. Like it was a struggle to get through. Zell's hot dog eating love is stronger than the relationship that somehow forms between Rinoa and Squall that doesn't even really start to develop until the end of Disc 3 on the Ragnarok, when they finally like embrace and maybe kiss. She actually seemed to have a thing for Cypher till the incident, mostly seeing Squall as an annoyance. You and me both, sister. So Squall, take a look at this hefty man brow. You really prefer that to Cloud or just Zidane's flat forehead? Graphics are like beauty in the eye of the beholder. Where this style looked alright, I felt it was chunky and jagged, as if we were taking a step back in something like smoothing and shading. We were taking a step back. Interactive objects, like on the ground, like the basketball on the court, looked more misplaced than ever and were really obvious. Guardian forces and magic looked great though. Backgrounds were also pretty stunning at times. 3, 2, 1, draw! At first, I thought this was a nice little addition. It added in some planning, farming, and strategy. But when you had to draw certain items for bosses that were hard to get, or stack up on a new spell, it was like being forced to stop everything till said goal was accomplished. And sometimes you needed a stack of 100 or something for the best junction for your character, for multiple characters. So like 300 of each spell? It gets pretty tedious and redundant feeling. Sometimes I don't want every character to have the move steal, you know what I mean? It ended up taking the customization elements from past games and somehow nullifying them, making everyone kinda cookie cutter except for the limit breaks and weapon choices. Cid is also one of the most pathetic versions of himself ever created. In the past, he's always been jolly, loud, or just a really tough as fuck guy. But in Final Fantasy VIII, even Nord calls him pathetic at one point. He's still a pilot, sure, I'll give him that. But most of the game, he spends his time hiding or worrying, and he's mostly just there to pad out the story, you can tell. And come on, he looks just like Robin Williams. Seriously. Laguna and the game that could have been. This is why Final Fantasy VIII feels rushed. If you were to take out Laguna's entire story, it would almost have zero effect on the entire rest of the game. It feels like it provided nothing in the end and could just been left out. Or made into a completely different side game? Final Fantasy VIII 2? I don't know. Or like Raijin and Fujin, who are obviously just there for comic relief, like Zorn and Thorn, but it's just done badly. And literally, like one's a robot for a personality. How hard is that to write? My beef here, though, is usually that job is left to Biggs and Wedge and sometimes Piet, who in this game are just dicks. They're just assholes. The locations are kind of dull. Prisons, sewers, caves. Not to attack classic Final Fantasy locations, just that I felt more wonder from the scenery in 7 than I did in 8. Even with the black borders and the odd linear paths, older RPGs are known for, they still felt like they had a lot more over this game's dungeons. The overall world map was also really dull and felt like it needed a lot more to it. Or it was just unreasonably large just to put in some stupid car and fuel thing that only left you thinking, dude, where's my car? I watched some Spoon Guy's video where he goes through every friggin' part and just tears it to shreds, to the point where he's basically attacking staples of the Final Fantasy series, like Renault's weapon. Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like all of them had a full moon or razor ring type weapon. There's no need to attack for weapon. And as a heavy fan, I had to stop watching. It's still a SquareSoft RPG. It's just a game, you know, take it easy, man. Didn't you enjoy hitting square rapidly during summons, or the Super Mario RPG stolen from timed hits that you could never tell when to strike? That was really fun. Quistis's was just, you didn't know when to hit the button. So, thinking about some of the scenes, like the cheesy saxophone summit, the intro, though, is actually really pure fucking gold. I could watch it 100 times and still feel that, like, rush of wanting to play when the title's about to pop up. The little dance, the CD dance was nice. A well-made FMV for those still crushing on the start of the game, but that also quickly fades. Also, I felt like Eyes on Me is not a memorable or even good song. I know art is up to the individual, sure, but I personally heard nothing I liked in this song, nor did it add to any moment that it was a part of to make it more memorable. I'm sorry, Nobuo and Faye. I love everything you guys do, just not this one. I really liked that the CDs had the questions and the trials. I felt like it provided some replay and unique way to get funds. That being said, it was also just stupid, as anyone could just max rank by cheating up the answers, you know. I'd also like to mention Triple Triad. I found recently this has been made into a mobile game, and it's fucking great. I love Triple Triad. It's actually what I consider the best part of Final Fantasy VIII. Like, Final Fantasy's 9 minigame came close, but not quite. It wasn't as easily understandable, nor, for that reason, as fun. Triple Triad is really the tits. I recommend everybody download it. It's wonderfully reproduced. It's a great game on mobile, and it's a great game in the game. Oh, and Kefka is the best bad guy ever, so I'm not even going to get into the flop that this game presented, which is basically a murderer who wants to murder all her possible murderers by murdering the world. Like, she's so just boring, basic, and just not there, and her real motivation is just a question mark. Like, that Laguna story was, I feel like it was supposed to explain something, but never ultimately did. Like, a whole second game was just left out, where these things they attempted to add were just gone. They're part of that other game, you know? Irvine is actually my favorite, but on that note, he's also a completely boring, emotional mess, like every other character in this game that's not a bad guy. I mean, Selphie's fun. She's like the first version of Riku. I was not disappointed with the changes. Most were good and helped the series to go on in the coming years, but a few weren't needed and could be the reason as to why the series feels nothing like it used to and is slowly losing touch with its older fans. I'll end it on this note. If Squall is truly dead, this game is groundbreaking and makes a lot more sense, but it's still badly presented. The word convoluted and Final Fantasy VIII go hand in hand until that truth is found. The things it tried to bring were fun and unique till you used them too heavily, and then it just almost seemed like an attempt to put a game on 4 discs for no reason. You compare it to another 4 CD game like Legend of Dragoon, it falls really short. I adamantly defend all Final Fantasies, as we have to remember These games are still made with love and given to us. People's visions and souls were poured into our screens. In my opinion, gaming is one of the most fully immersive forms of art. You're not just looking at a painting, you're experiencing an entire world. To think back on how many Super Nintendo games actually achieved that feeling of me being there and with them and feeling what they feel, and it's just made me realize how much titles like this have missed that mark. We can't blindly let these fanboyisms ruin the entire series. If you truly wish to see the series get better, stop demanding and start supporting games like the upcoming Final Fantasy World or World of, I'm not sure which title they're going with. Something these hyped up AAA Final Fantasies can't provide is that sense of imagination that makes it easier for it to imprint upon you, you know? Like you get into it, because it's not just showing you every bit of what you should feel. It leaves a little up to you to feel. Like there's a big difference. There's a big difference. So you enjoy your movie RPGs and jagged anime wannabe art styles. I'm gonna go play Beyond the Beyond, a game still better than half the modern RPGs out there. Worst RPGs of all time? Most American ones. And this one, worst Final Fantasy by far. 7 was good, 9 was good, 10 was good, 3.6 is legend, same with 2.4. If you disagree, well, I will consider you less educated on the series than I am then. Because if you knew better, you would agree. So stop acting like jackasses, like Squall, and accept it. Thanks everyone who managed to make it through this video. Pain or pleasure, I hope you had a fun time listening to my thoughts. Remember, I'm just some idiot troll dick, and this is just my stupid opinion. To each their own, Space Cowboy. See ya.
Thank you.